Why is it so hard to let love unfold and stay? Humming the same song, never writing the words, and our wheels they keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Living on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever driving cross countries, getting ball tires, bam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it yet. From the start to the finish, go hard and we win.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains worldwide brotherhood. Hey, we're going to be celebrating that worldwide part of that brotherhood again tonight. Tonight. All right. Hey, you are here for episode 217, and today is the first episode of the month of June of 2024. It is June 6th, Thursday night, and you are here for the Heart of a Villain. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are here live, I appreciate the fact that, hey, you have nothing better to do than to join me tonight, and I appreciate that. Otherwise, I'd be here all by myself, which I'd still do because, well, I guess some say no one likes the sound of their own voice more than me. It's not so much that. It's just that I get to play with lots of fun toys here, and that's always a good time. So, guys, hey, I can't believe 217. I just, during the countdown for the show here, as it was getting ready to come on, I noticed that I'm looking back at the schedule, and it looks like we're just, I want to say we're like 10 episodes away from our 5 years. Can you believe? 10 episodes away from 5 years of The Heart of a Villain. That just freaks me out a little bit. It's amazing. It is truly, it's, wow. I'm shocked. Can't believe 5 years has already flown by with this show that long. The fledgling show that it is, the show that some wondered why it was even here, the show that, oh man. Hey, I'm having a blast with it, and I don't see an end anywhere in sight. But we're coming up on 10 weeks from now. We're 5 years. So, as I realize this, and I've been thinking about it a little bit. I'm looking to you, the loyal listeners and the loyal viewers who've been here, who continue to be here. There's actually not too many of y'all that have been here from the beginning that are still here. I don't know what that says about me or about the show, or I don't know what that says about any. I don't know. Could say a whole lot. But for those of you that are here live, that are here listening in the regular podcast platform, I'm curious. I would like to do something special, some kind of merch related something to celebrate 5 years. And so I'm trying to think of something that I could do that is something that I could also share and sell and get out to the world to celebrate 5 years of The Heart of a Villain. So if you have any ideas, feel free to shoot something my way. If there's anything cool that you'd like. One of the things that I plan on doing, is I am planning on and started working on a revamped logo, a new and improved. I don't want to say improved because I love my OG logo, my original logo for the show. Something that Mr. Optimus Mendez helped me create. And he just jumped on it and killed it, and it's awesome. And it's still going to be around. I'm never going to get rid of it. But I would like to do a fancy, something different logo to celebrate 5 years of the show. So I'm going to do that. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to incorporate something with that into whatever item it is. One of the things I probably will do is come out with a couple of new shirts, just to kind of fancy that up a little bit. So we'll have a few different shirts available to celebrate 5 years, but they won't be dated. So it won't be, something that like the day after you wear it, suddenly it's like dated to a specific year or anything like that. I won't do that. I don't even think I'll put 5 years or anything on the shirt, but it'll just be known as that's the shirt that was made for the 5-year anniversary. So, but anyway, I got lots of things spinning around in my head, but I'm open to suggestions because I know there's people out there, some of you listeners, some of you viewers who have a very creative mind and who might come up with an idea that, hey, you know what you might try could very well be something I've never thought of. So I'd love to hear some suggestions. You don't need to publicly share them in the comments or whatever else. But if you just want to hit me up, totally fine. Ideas, I'm open to them. So that's that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Tonight here with episode 217, we are going to hear from a little bro. I don't want to say little. I don't know why I always say that when I say a little something. From a great brother with the big smoke villains over in London. I'm talking about Lloydie, the charity officer from the Big Smoke Villains. And he's going to be here talking to us about an awesome event they had not too many days back. Some of you might have seen some video footage, some photos that were taken of a thing called Villainfest over there. They raised a great amount of money. Very, very cool. Very, very awesome charity. So we're going to hear all about Villainfest. We're going to hear some backstory a little bit on Mr. Lloydie. So those of you who do not know who he is, I know people over in England know who he is. People that hover around the area of London and all that is that know him. But I know people stateside may not know him. Very cool story, very cool backstory. Similar to many of our other brothers in why they found BV. But very, very cool story. And he's just a great dude to talk to. So I could have sat and talked with him for hours. So anyway, so we're going to be hearing from Lloydie talking about Villainfest and charity and all the good stuff. I want to say hello, shout out to the people that are here with me tonight in the comments section live. There's just a handful of them hanging out with me tonight. It's probably because it's a very nice night out or day. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. But it's out of here in Indiana, northern Indiana, it's beautiful outside. Still sunshiny. Perfect temperature of about 70 degrees. So heck, if I wasn't here doing this, I'd probably be doing about 10 other things. So I appreciate those of you who are here hanging out with me tonight. Mr. Rubaba on the road. Rubaba's hanging out with me here. Can't wait to see you, Rubaba, in a few months, hanging out with me here at the house. And we're gonna be doing road tripping. He's gonna be with me road tripping down south. That's gonna be an awesome time. So Rob says, good. Oh, I didn't even get to my comments section box here. There it is. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, he says, his normal settling of it. Buddy's hanging out with us as well. How you doing, buddy? I don't know, buddy, am I going to see you this weekend in Knoxville? I'm going to be down south making that trek, leaving in the morning. Looking excited. I'm super excited. Can't wait to go down and hang out with the boys down in Tennessee and everyone else that comes down. Let's see. Lurch is hanging out with us as well. He came in here and made he was like 5 different comments strong in here right away. I had to search to find the one that would make sense for me to pop on here. Lurch, good to see you here. He said, hey. Lurch has something that he's going to be talking about before too long. So keep an eye on Lurch with Empire State because he's going to be selling something. That's all I'll say right now because I don't have the authority to talk on it any further right now, unless he gives me the authority to talk on it, and then maybe I will. You know. Andy is hanging out with us as well. Hey, yo, how you doing, Andy? Good to see you here as well. I saw Klaus in here as well. How you doing? Good to see. I love that Klaus is over here hanging out with us as well. He improves the gentlemanly affair of what we are here. I feel like we have to step up our game a little bit more when Klaus comes into the picture with us. For sure. Let's see. Steve is also here hanging out with us. Yo, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Anybody else? Mr. Ramsey's hanging out with us here. If he does like he tells me he does, we are on his big screen right now. We'll see. Mr. Ramsey, are you going to see? Am I going to see you this weekend in Knox Villains? That would be very cool. That would be very cool to hang out with you as well. All right. Hey. Okay. So that is, you're going to see me. Hey, all right, look at that. He says, you're going to see me? Of course. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Whoop, and I'm pushing too many of my buttons. Okay. So, real quick, I just want to talk a little bit about a few merch items that I have access to because there's several chapters that are in the limbos of merch right now. I've heard some chapters talking about merch, but haven't gone around to doing things yet. Others have been doing things that they have the same merch that they've had out for a bit. So, I don't keep things on too long on the show. Other than I say that, but then of course I'm going to say this as well. My chapter, I'm going to keep talking about this until I come up with some other merch related item for our chapter to talk about, just because it's the chapter I'm a part of and I have the microphone. So deal with it. Go out and grab one of these awesome pins. $12 BV Northern Indiana. The Northern Indiana Villains lapel or hat pin or whatever it is. It's our cross sides pin. Go out and grab one. They are a polished metal. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, so there's that one. Okay, going to get in a couple other merch items that I've got here from a few different chapters come across over the last week. If for some reason I miss you, I do apologize. Please send me a message and I will put it in my little phone notes section where I do not forget about it for next week. Hey, I've got the BV Jacksonville, the 904 boys. They have this Jax Sharky patch. I don't know what the story is behind it, but it looks kind of cool. It's kind of a muted color tone on it, with the exception of the big bright orange. But it says, established 2017, Bearded Villains, Jacksonville. It's a new patch available for $12. Hit up the BV 904 boys. I think their website's bv904.com, so easy to remember. Jacksonville got the new patch, $12. Go out and grab one. Hey, also, if you are a collector of hardened things, solid things like, I don't know, a coin, maybe? If you like coins, hit up the boys in Ohio, the Heartland Villains. Bearded Villains Ohio has a chapter coin available. I'm not sure if it's a pre-sale or if it's a sale or what they got going on, but it's for sale, so they will take your money. So get over there, hit up the boys in Ohio. This is a pretty cool coin. If I'm just going to describe it to those that are listening in a regular podcast platform, it's like a full color logo of theirs on one side, and then the back side is black with white writing on it that says Heartland Villains, and the white writing that says Heartland Villains glows in the dark. It looks like it glows in the dark. How cool is that? Heartland Villains, $20 chapter coin. Go out and grab one of those. Very cool coins. Hey, also, don't forget about them boys up in Vancouver, the Van City Villains. They still have that awesome Crossed Axes 2024 patch for $15. Van City Villains. They don't put out much, but when they put out stuff, it's awesome. So get over there, grab one of these things. The Crossed Axes 2024 patch for $15 from them Van City boys. Also, don't forget, in 2 weeks, we are only 2 weeks away from Beards for Bucko. Beards for Bucko up at Fort Erie, Ontario. Niagara Falls area, Ontario. Up in Canada, eh? It's going to be an awesome time. Beards for Bucko. They're pre-sailing tickets. Go out there to go out there to the Lakeshore Villains. I'm sorry, lakeshorevillains.com. Get your tickets early so that you don't have to wait in line. Yeah. So I will be there. Come hang out with me. If nothing else, right? Come hang out with me. Beards for Bucko 2024. Or just completely avoid me altogether. Some people will be doing that probably. All right, so that is our Beards for Bucko and all of our other merch-related items that I have for this week. If I've forgotten you, I do apologize. sometimes the week gets away from me, and when I try to organize the show day of, and I'm getting going on stuff. Today I got slammed with work, so I do apologize. I got a little bit late start getting things situated for all of the merch stuff and all that stuff. So I do apologize. But hey, I want to get right into my awesome interview that I had with Lloydie, and we're talking about Villainfest. This thing, it's again, I say this every time I talk to the guys over, any of the guys over in the UK. I talk, I'm just like, man, I want to go back tomorrow. I wish I could go back next week. I had such a great time when I was there, and there's so many brothers out there that I talk to on social media or even here through the show or whatever else that I didn't get to meet on my first trip. And so, man, I can't wait to get back over there. And Villainfest is one of those events that absolutely I want to get to. If you guys over there keep stacking your events just like you do, almost to the point where they're like back-to-back weeks, here's a great thing. I think it would be awesome if, now I'm not going to, I don't want anybody to plan their events just to benefit old BP, but how cool would it be if there is a situation at hand where one of the chapters over there can have one event one weekend, and then another chapter has another event the next weekend, and I can make a week trip over there and go to two big events. That would be awesome. That's what I need to try and do. So help BP out here. We need to make that work somehow. I don't know if it'll be next year that I could spend an entire week, but I'd love to. So let's plan for that for the future. We got to figure that one out. All right. So my interview with Lloydie, we're going to be talking about Villainfest. We're talking about charity, and we're going to learn a little bit about his backstory, about how he found BV and, all the goodness. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy my interview I had with Lloydie. If I can get it to play. All right, boys and girls, I've got another great brother from across the pond. It seems like I've been talking to a lot of people from over there lately, and it's because they have a lot of really cool events slammed right on top of each other. So just a few weeks ago, they had another event over there called Villainfest. Those big smoke boys took care of this event. Here today to talk to us about it and the charity endeavors and all the cool stuff that happened with that, I've got the charity officer Lloydie with me here today. Lloydie, how you doing?
Hey, bad BP, how you doing, mate?
Oh, but I am stoked to be able to talk to you. One of these days, I keep saying it. One of these days, I'm going to get back over there, and Villainfest is the top of my list. After hanging out last year for a few things, but it's on the top of my list.
Definitely, you need to get back over. Big Smoke would love to have you.
I'm coming. We need to do a charity drive. We need a charity drive to get BP back over there.
That's what we'll do. We'll get it done.
All right, let's do it. So man, let's just talk for a minute about, if you can, a little bit about the history of Villainfest, if you have any of that that you can share with us, and what it's all about, and what, just give us a little bit of some details on it.
Yeah, so what I believe, obviously, I've not been in London too long myself. However, but I believe this was set up by, the original London when there was the 6 chapters of the UK. They, started off their big London meet. When I was actually not even in Bearded Villains, I attended a London meet, their Villainfest as such. And that was, I think, 2018. I was still serving in the British Army. And that's where I come in contact with Bearded Villains for the first time. And I met some amazing guys in London. I was clean shaven at the time. And that day, I knew that I wanted to become a villain when I left the army. And, I knew that Big Smoke was the way that I wanted to go, being at my hometown and where I was from. So, yeah, this is, an event that we do every year, the first weekend in June. And we set about to raise as much money for our chosen charity as possible. And, it's great to see our chapter come together, bond together, gel together, for such amazing causes out there. everybody gets involved, from donating raffle prizes to turning up on the day and putting the graft in, working on the door or the charity table or the merch table, or hosting the beard competition. There's so many people that get involved, and it's great to see our chapter gel and bond together over that one big event every year.
Yeah, that's it's such a cool thing to see. But let me go back for a second. Give me a little bit of lowdown on your history. You said you were in the British Army, and that's how long were you in? What'd you do? If you don't mind talking about that a little bit, just because people over here in the States, we may not, not many guys may know you.
Yeah, so I served in the British Army for 18 years. I did
Wow.
14 infantry. So did my time overseas, tours all around the world. And then I moved over to logistics just before I left to kind of get some qualifications under my belt, with the realization that being an infantry soldier and being a great shot really wouldn't help me when I left the army. But yeah, so I did 18 years, had a great time, and just felt that my career had kind of come to an end. And when I left the army, I kind of felt something in my life was lacking. I was missing something, and I found that in Bearded Villains. I say to people, I was looking for friends. I was looking for a friend circle, and I didn't just find friends in London. I found a family, and that's honestly what London is. They are my family. Every single one of them. I talk to 99.9% of the chapter on a weekly basis. Such a great group of lads. If you're going for a bit of a bad time or you're going for a good time, we're there for one another. And like I said, I felt like that was lacking in my life when I left the army. Being so close to so many people for so long was fantastic. And now I have exactly the same kind of brotherhood within Bearded Villains, and that to me has filled a massive hole in my heart. So yeah, Bearded Villains does definitely mean a lot to me.
Yeah. I struggle to put into words why and how it is that so many guys from around the world, especially those that were in the armed forces or that were in some sort of service capacity, police, fire, or something, that we have so many examples just worldwide of our brothers that they get out of that line of work, or they had that at one point, and it's Bearded Villains that is the commonality that brings them back to that fold, that gives them that feeling of brotherhood again, time and time again. And I wish I could put my finger on it, but yeah, I just hear story after story of it. It's pretty amazing, the fact that so many people can find what they need, find that connection back in this thing that is a worldwide beard club.
It honestly blows my mind. Before Bearded Villains, I never really took a photo of myself. I never had that self love that most people in life lack. And like I said, I joined to find friends, and very quickly found a family within London. There are people all over the UK that I talk to regularly. Like most things, our beard club is through Instagram. And you talk to people through Instagram that you've never met in a million years, and you probably never would have crossed paths with. And then you go to a meet and you meet these people, and like some of the most amazing men I've ever met in BV. I found from Lake District, right at the other side of the UK, or Wales, or Northern Monkeys, or Blackshire Villains. Like, there's just so many amazing people that you would probably never have crossed paths with in a million years. Might have walked past and gone, he's got a nice beard. But it's Bearded Villains that bring you together and unite you under that one banner, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, to me, one of the craziest parts about it is, especially, and I think it's probably something that you can really attest to as well, because you were in the military for 18 years, and you're just like me. I know I was in law enforcement for 20 years. Your identity is that it's not that the people that have always known you know you only as that, but as far as your circle of friends, the people that you hang out with, it tends to always. Did you find that was the case over your 18 years as well, that most of the people that you interacted with on a regular basis were all military?
Yeah, 100%. And I still do talk to some military friends now. And there are connections that I have within BV, with guys that are ex-forces as well. Like in London alone, we have a handful of ex-forces guys. one of the main guys that I talk to. You probably do know him, Big Danny G.
Oh yeah.
He served in the British Army as well. We've got the bearded nurse Mike. He's ex forces. We've got another London lad, Barja Beard. He ex forces again. And that then leads us on to our charity, doesn't it? This is, as the charity officer, we look at what we do and who we support, and that's kind of stemmed from a place of absolute admiration and love.
Yeah.
Being ex-service personnel, we as a chapter we chose to go with this charity, and honestly, from personal experience, it's just absolutely phenomenal what we've managed to achieve so far this year.
Yeah. So watching from afar at the growth and the different things that you guys have done has been really amazing. And I just another quick point to the what we were just talking about is that one of the craziest parts I think about it is that when you have something for so long, and I've said one of the weirdest things about finding BV is not only do you find that brotherhood, that family that you have, but you meet people that, like you said, you otherwise would never have anything in common with. You would never there would be no rhyme or reason for you to meet this person. They may have had a completely different life than you. I've met people that, I was in law enforcement. I've met people that have done prison time that have
Yeah,
been brothers, and some of the most solid brothers around. And that to me is the thing that really is the big shocker, the most amazing part. And it doesn't matter where you go worldwide. I go over to England and I see all throughout the UK. I meet guys that come from all walks of life, and geez, yeah, it's truly amazing. And then to see where all of these guys, they come together through charity, but then to see that their life, what their life has done for them, and then where that leads their heart to go for charity as well. The
it,
wide variety of charities that our guys are working for.
it is
It's
honestly, it is truly phenomenal. Like you say, there are guys in my own chapter that you like you said, you probably would never have crossed paths with. You probably would never have talked with, because their likes in their normal day-to-day life are not the kind of things that you would do. So you probably wouldn't have never crossed paths. But you put yourselves under one banner of Bearded Villains, and these guys are some of the most amazing guys I've met in my entire life. And whatever they've done previously or whatever you've done previously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are united in that brotherhood, and that it's truly amazing. Like, it honestly blows my mind.
Well, yeah. It's regardless of our past, it's the past that has brought us together through all of our different experiences. And so where that has taken you guys this year, for Villainfest, man, I look back at when I saw the numbers come out, and that you just released last week, and um, let's talk for a second about. I mean, we can talk for days, and we could do this, and we could just have fun ourselves and bore everybody else that's going to watch this show, because talking about the event itself and how much fun it was to hang out with brothers and things like that, and we can touch on that, but as far as the charity stuff goes, for this year, talk for a minute, if you can, about the organization that you guys chose, why you chose that organization, and a little bit about if you've had any specific interaction with that organization, or seen really what they've done for some people.
So yeah, so our chosen charity is a charity called UK Homes for Heroes Pride and Passion, and they work very closely with ex-service personnel, regardless of your background. If you're ex-services, they will endeavour to help you as much as they can. So I found out about this charity through a family friend. I went through quite a bad period just over a year ago, where I split with my ex-wife, and I found myself in a situation where I was almost homeless. I was in BV at this point as well. I was in BV at this point. We were already in contact with the charity to work with them, because we were doing our Remembrance Day merch, and we wanted to donate to them. And I had a conversation with Jimmy Jukes, the guy that runs the charity, and Michelle Thorpe, the lady that runs the charity. And I got a phone call one night, and it was Jimmy, and he was like, "How you doing, Dean? Like, we haven't caught up in a while. Are you okay?" And I said to him, "I'm doing all right, Jimmy. I'm struggling at the moment. I'm potentially going to be sleeping in my car because things are that bad, and the council won't help me. I won't be housed. However, I've been looking for places to stay, and I found somewhere that's quite nice, but I can't afford the first month's rent, and I can't afford the deposit." That conversation followed him saying, "I'll call you back in 5 minutes." After that 5 minutes, they called me back, and they offered to give me the first month's rent and the deposit for the place I was about to move into. So without them, I would have been homeless. That really touched a chord with me. And, we spoke in London. I then was asked by Jamie, our captain, if I'd like to become charity officer. And of course, it's one of the main reasons why I joined BV. So we then touched base and said, "Look, we'd like you to be our chosen charity for our next period of time." And they were more than willing. We went down to the day centre. There was myself, the charity team, our captain Jamie, our co-captain Lenny. We all travelled down because they have a day centre, and we found out what they did. And this charity predominantly deal with ex-service personnel. So if you're an ex-service person in the UK and you're struggling and you reach out to them, they will do what they can to help you. Some of the stories that I've heard, they had a young lad that had not long been out of the army. He was homeless. He was on the streets in, I think it was about February time, and they got in the van at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they drove 3/4 of the way up the country. They took the young man to the streets. They put him into a hotel. They fed him. They then went and got him clothes because he only had literally the clothes on his back, and it was like shorts and t-shirt. So they clothed him, and they spent 5 days up there with him. 5 days up there. They put him in a hotel for 5 days. They've done as much as they possibly could. They reached out to the local councils, and it's truly inspiring what they've done. And they've done this to 12 people so far this year, I believe. Also, they run a food kitchen for the homeless outside Waterloo train station. So right bang in London, outside Waterloo train station, every Wednesday they do the food kitchen, and they serve a 3-course meal. And then through December, they did 21 days straight feeding, including a Christmas dinner. So on Christmas Day, they provide 4-course Christmas dinner, and that's not just ex-service personnel, but that's any homeless that want feeding. They will feed them. So yeah, honestly, the work that these guys do is truly inspiring. We've got loads of charities within the UK that are aimed around veterans and support and stuff like that. And this is one charity that will get up and go at the drop of a hat to help an ex-service personnel without even thinking about it. Right now, as it is right now, it's D-Day remembrance. They are currently in Normandy with a load of veterans around the. I think some of them might even be Second World War veterans themselves, but they've taken a handful of people over, and they've done this as well for about 10 years, I believe, where they take them over there and they pay for all fees paid for and everything like that. So they take them over there. So an absolute phenomenal charity to work with.
Man, it's still it still pisses me off to no end that we live in a world where men and women have served the countries that they live in, and they can come home to find a situation where it's almost unlivable once their service is done. And I know that everybody, you can't plan for everything, and there's no amount of national organizations or state or country run organizations that are going to be able to plan for everything. But it's just when you hear about, because you can't plan for what happens in people's personal lives after the fact, but you'd think that you could damn well make a change to do everything possible to have opportunities at least for people, when their service time is done, no matter how that happens. So I can't speak to obviously what that's like, having not served in the military, but I know many people that have, and I have other family members and friends that have, and to see sometimes the way that they're treated after the fact is just appalling. But how amazing it is, this organization, and that the connection that you have with them, that you can speak from experience. I mean, it's one thing to hear about this organization and read about them a little bit, but you're in a very unique situation, having been a beneficiary of their services.
Yeah, definitely. And and like I said, it was, for me, it was a bit of a shock to the system, because I suppose being in the military, you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and you're a man's man. You've been and you've done the things that you've done, and you've been here and there, and to ask for help, but as I said, being whether it's ex-services or fire brigade or police force or anything, to ask for help is quite a big thing, especially when you've never done that in your life, and then to actually say, actually, I'm not doing okay, and then within a matter of minutes, someone to say, actually, don't worry about it, we're going to help you, we're going to help you, and we're going to make sure that you stay on top, and the guys check in with me regularly, like Jimmy, obviously, like I said, they're in Normandy, messaged me, so had seen the post go up about how much we'd raised, and just sent me a massive like thank you message, and said, I can't wait to see you guys when we get back. Like, you've done amazing, thank you so much. And like I said, we have had other charity fundraisers this year. This isn't a charity that gets guaranteed funding, so when we raise money for them, it really does help. Whether it's £1 or £6,000, every single penny counts. Every single penny.
That's incredible. That's incredible, man. And just, I mean, to see the efforts that this organization's going to work both at home and literally away, to help out is truly incredible. I don't know about you, but you just reminded me of something when you're talking about D-Day, and um, it feels, and I don't know, maybe I don't know if you noticed the feeling or not, but I've noticed over the last like 20 years, because we've lost so many, the last survivors of the that generation, and we always hear talk of them being the greatest generation, and it's a weird feeling knowing that none of them very soon will even be around anymore, and how different they made the world.
Yeah,
Crazy.
definitely. It hits home a little, doesn't it? They were a great generation, and without them, I don't think we'd be where we are today. However, you know, all we can do is lead by example now. They left us what we have left to do, and that's why I think Bearded Villains to me is so important, because we inspire people through charity, through our brotherhood, and if we can leave somebody in London, when I took over as charity officer, sent me a little note, and it says, if we could leave the world a little bit better off, then we've achieved what we set out to do. And that kind of hit me there, and that's what they did in their generation. Um, so for me, in Bearded Villains, with what we do charity wise, is if we can make this world a little bit better by doing what we do, then we've got to do it.
Man, it's so well said. I'm so appreciative that you were able to talk to that for a few minutes while I was on the other side of this camera, coughing my face off. Every once in a while, when I start talking to this mic, I get some tickle in my throat, and I have to stop for a second. So I'm glad that I could flip the camera back to you, and and hide myself as I was dying over here. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I think what you said there is it's one that I am so happy that not only are you exhibiting that example, you and your chapter, but so many of our other chapters doing the same thing, and that's what it's all about. So, I don't think we talked about it, man. What can you just review? What was the total that you guys raised with Villainfest?
At the moment, for the total for Villainfest was £6,000. there might be a little bit more. We're not, we're 90% sure we're sat at £6,000. So for London this year, Villainfest, I have to touch on Villainfest. You know, we had some absolute amazing people that day. You know, we've got the ladies of London. Now, these ladies of London, they're now well known within the UK. They are absolutely phenomenal. A big special thanks to the ladies of London, because they went out there and they sold every single raffle ticket in that book. We raised, I believe, on the day, just from raffle tickets alone, was around the £2,400 mark. So the ladies of London really did go to town that day. They put in the effort and they turned up for the Bearded Villains. You know, we've got special thanks to give out there, you know, to the three captains and all the hard work, you know, Bulldog, Lenny, Jamie, the three guys at the top, you know, other people, Gilly and Rob, that did all the photography for us. You know, the Sergeant Ryan, and actually to everybody that travelled, and to the rest of London lads, everybody that turned up on the day. You know, they dug deep. I gave a speech on the day. You know, we had the charity merch there. The guys were buying the charity's own merchandise as well as the Bearded Villains merchandise. And it was phenomenal. And that puts London in such a great position. You know, we had a great day. It was phenomenal to see so many brothers turn up and really enjoy themselves, you know, with a phenomenal amount of money raised. And then that actually is where I'm kind of a bit choked up, because from Villainfest we might have raised £6,000, but this is our second charity fundraiser of the year so far. So we had a charity fundraiser in February where we did the polar plunge, and on that charity fundraiser we set up a Just Giving for the charity, and we managed to raise £1,800 on that. So that takes our total so far this year for our charity donations to just under £8,000. So, you know, I absolutely blown out of the water, and so many amazing people that put the effort in. You know, Chris, Grand Old Duke of York, one of the real good guys from London, is always putting in the effort. He actually got our Villain of the Year award at Villainfest. But yeah, it's truly amazing to see when London comes together how we pull stuff off.
Yeah, you guys are really killing it right now. It's so fun to see. I mean, from all the way over here. If you're one of those guys that likes to just pay attention to what other chapters are doing, you have not gone very long without, you could not possibly have missed what London's been doing. Because yeah, and what I love about it is it's almost like kind of quiet, but yet you're doing stuff, and you guys have that cool little mix of things. And the personalities, I was just laughing when you started running down the names of the people that are in that chapter, and I'm just like, what an incredible mix of people. I mean, that
Really?
I've been around several of them in individual increments, but to be around that entire group of guys in one room, that'd make my year. That'd make my year to be around your whole chapter, man, because I wouldn't stop laughing. I don't think I'd stop laughing.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was a fantastic meet. You know, everybody, even we had honorees that turned up on the day that absolutely put a shift in for us as well. Like everybody that travelled last year, unfortunately, Villainfest, we got hit by train strikes, which, you know, meant that we didn't actually have as many brothers as we'd like to turn up, and people couldn't make it. This year, the day was absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. So I could sit here all night listing the amount of people that I need to thank, and that London need to thank. But, you know, I think for us, the figure speaks for itself. You know, that is a substantial amount of money raised for our chosen charity, and that comes down to people putting into the charity pot, people buying the raffle tickets, people entering the beard competition. You know, the donations for the raffle that we got were phenomenal. We had an iPad in there, we had a tablet in there. You know, there was we had patches in there. You know, there was some, like, I believe we had an auction that went on at the end where somebody had donated the whole set of the Central England horror patches. There were some absolutely amazing prizes that were gifted by people, and this is why we've done so well as a chapter, because we bonded together, we gelled together. You know, we dug deep, people were putting in so much effort behind the scenes to make sure that stuff was getting done and rolling out. And it was just amazing to see London gel together, and we come together as a chapter to host all of these people that had travelled all that way. Villains that had travelled from Denmark and Belgium and all, Holland, and we in Big Smoke. There was no doubt in my mind that we would love for all of the guys from the States to come over and join us. We how Big Smoke have a party.
Yeah. That's that. I know that feels so good when you host an event and you know it's going to be fun. You know it's going to be a good time. But when you see people come from far away and they specifically come for you, your chapter, to support your chapter, to support your charity that you're working with, that's a great feeling. That's really a great feeling. So congrats to you guys for that. But I also want to stay. I also want to touch on something before we go that you mentioned, that I wish every chapter out there that does charity stuff would do, and that is, you guys. You mentioned that you guys took that extra step to have some of your guys, some of your brothers, go to their facility, see what they do, see what they're about. It's easy for us, I think, to host events, to write checks. It's easy for us to host events, to raise, to be able to donate some product or some goods or something like that. But I think it's so important for us to not only choose an organization to partner with, but then to take that extra step and show them that you are truly interested in what their mission is, what they're doing, and go to their place, wherever that is. If it's a Habitat for Humanity and they're out doing stuff, go to that place, find out what you can do to help. If they run a facility like that, go to their facility and find out firsthand, and then you could talk. A lot of times you could talk to people that are beneficiaries like yourself. But it's so important for us to do that, I think.
100%. And from our perspective, we went down to their day center and we had a good chat with them, and they were lovely. They brought sandwiches and tea and coffee, and we touched on what can we do to help. Like Jimmy and Michelle, they're not, they're getting on a little bit, and their social media kind of presence wasn't great, and it was like, what can we do for you that just doesn't just include raising money? Like, we want to help raise money, we want to do as much as we can, but what else can we do? What else can we bring to the table? We spoke to them about the food kitchen. Now, we're very aware in conversations that we've had that a big group of us turning up to help feed the homeless probably isn't the best idea, because that might not go down too well. But actually what we could do was and it's something we're looking at doing later on this year, we could turn up and help them cook the food before they go out the door. We could do the behind the scenes stuff. Also, we can help them with their social media presence. If we've got some, like I said, great guys in our chapter that are really phenomenal at the social media side and getting posts put together and stuff, and can we help with that kind of stuff for them and bits and pieces like that. And it was finding out what we could do for them that wasn't just us raising money, because it's more than that. If they're not very well known on social media, how can we make them more known? We've got such a great community within Bearded Villains, but we can actually, for a little bit of social media, push this charity and make it a worldwide known name. And that's what we want to try and help them do, and that's where we want to try and help them succeed.
Yeah, that's so important. And you that's a great point too, because our very nature of the club is social media based from its get-go. So you have the ability to, I mean, it may not touch or mean anything to people in faraway countries, but the reach that you have within several hundred, meters, several hundred kilometers, several hundred, whatever it is, miles, you can do amazing things. And yeah, that's terrific. I know one of our big events here that our chapter does, we work with Ron McDonald House, and unfortunately for us, they have to be, because of the nature of what they do, very picky about social media stuff. And so even when we take photos and we donate the stuff for our Halloween drives and stuff for them, we can take pictures, but we can't actively tag them in our photos. We have to let them make a post. And so we found that out after year one. They're like, yeah, we can't let you tag us. And so, but you know, but you have to, but that's the thing. You work with what you have with the charity that you're working with, and you ask them. It's the importance of asking, what can we do for you? I think is so important, rather than just assuming here's what we can do, because a lot of times you'll find out they need something else completely than what you thought. So
yeah, it's what can we do to help you? Not just raise money. Like everyone, like, we know that we can go out. Everyone can go out and shake a bucket and raise some money. You know, we have great meets, and we can drive a little bit there. What can we do to help you? That's not going to be, you know, it's the stuff that's behind the scenes. Can we help you with your social media? You know, if you need people to come down at the end of a food kitchen and help you clean up, do you need people to turn up to do the washing up? You know, what kind of stuff do you need from us that we can do that's going to help you? And like I said, you know, when we did the polar plunge back in February, you know, Jimmy and Michelle were both there, and they went live on their Facebook for about 30 minutes, and they did our guys did an interview with them. They were also live. They watched us go into the Thames. I think I went very high pitched at one point, whereas most of us did. But yeah, they were there, and they were there to show, you know, that we were doing this for them, but they wanted to be a part of it as well, which was absolutely phenomenal for us.
yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys. I wish we could sit here and talk forever, but congratulations. Tell the guys, tell the rest of the bros. I know I've reached out to several of them already and given my congrats to them. It's incredible to watch what you guys are doing over there, and I just continue support, continue to keep doing what you're doing, and you're setting, whether you're meaning to or not, you're setting a great example over there for sure.
Well, we like to drive forward with charity, and like I said, I've said it a few times now. I said it to the Welsh lads because I did some charity work with them. I went up to Snowdon with them, which was amazing because the Welsh lads and most of their chapters in the UK, nearly all the chapters in the UK, are really hammering the charity work right now, which is amazing to see. But you know, bearded villains to me and to a lot of us means charity, and that's whether you just donate a couple of pound, a couple of dollars, you know, or turn up to the event just to support. Do what you can do, and that's what we drive for, and that's kind of where my driving force has been at the moment. You know, if another chapter are doing a charity event and you can't attend but you can donate, then do that. You know, take great pride in the fact that I know that, you know, my own chapter London did donate to the Welsh lads when they did their event, and we had other chapters donate to us when we've done our events, and I think that's what is amazing to see within our community. So yeah, we are trying our very best to inspire charity within everything we do.
Yeah. Hey, I can't say it any better than that. I think that's a great place to leave it. Lloydie, I appreciate you so much for taking some time with me. I know it's late over there. Maybe now you can go home. You can turn this thing off and get to sleep. But thanks so much again. Tell everybody I said hey, and congrats on an awesome. You know what? First half of the year. You still got another whole half of a year.
Oh, mate, we're gonna see what we can get to.
That's right. All right. Thanks again talking to me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, BP. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. All right. Hey, Lloydie, thanks so much. You know, it's funny looking back on that. I was struggling so bad. It was a rough go during parts of that interview. I don't know why, but you know how, you know, when you get to talking sometimes and you get that thing in the back of your throat, that tickle in the throat, and it just won't go away. No matter how much you drink or how much whatever you try and clear your throat, you cough, whatever, it just will not go away. And so at several points in that interview, I could not, I had to flip the camera to him solely, and I was like coughing like crazy off to the side. And even at the very end of that thing, it was a rough go. But hey, really, really, really fun to talk to you, buddy. Lloydie, Big Smoke, London boys doing some really cool stuff over there. And you know, like I said, I really think it's so important. One of the biggest takeaways from that was his part of the story where he talks about how he himself first, he had come across, he knew the people that were responsible for that ran the organization, but he himself was a recipient of their services. And it's so important for us when we can. And I know that there's some charity organizations out there where you can't physically go to a facility or to their business or something like that as a group of people. It's just not allowed, or whatever they have requirements for it. But to be able to go and see firsthand what these organizations that we are all trying to help out, what they do, and show them that it does matter to us more than just here's your donation. That we want to be a part of what they do. We want to be a part of their mission. That's a really important thing for us to do. So I think we need to really push for that in the coming months. So let's round out the year. It wasn't even until halfway through that, when I was finishing up the interview, and I realized it's only halfway through this year. So we're halfway through 2024. I think when we come back together next week for episode 218, I think by the calendar standard, we will be at the halfway point of the year. So yeah, there's still so much time to make a difference in lives. And we really need to be focused on that, I think. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I don't have a whole lot else to say. We're coming up on an hour here. So, we try to stay somewhere around there if we can. I want to thank Lloydie again for taking some time with me in the wee hours of the night by yesterday's standards now today over there. And thank you so much for everybody that is sitting here with me live. Thank you to all of you who continue to listen on a standard podcast platform. I cannot thank you guys enough either. Hey, you know what that's going to do? It's going to wrap up episode 217. I've got to pack up and get out of here because tomorrow morning, in just about 12 hours, I am headed southbound for the trip to Knoxville for Knox Villains. I will see you all there. Guys, I want to say, as I always do, to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. That means you need to do the work and you need to find somebody to talk to. So please do. Until next weekend, guys. Until next week for episode 218, where I will see you back here live again. Take care. Stay safe. From the start to the finish, go hard.